James Hardie Industries were once very much a part of the Australian landscape. They were a well-known manufacturer of building products and brake linings. They sponsored the Bathurst 1000 car race, and they sponsored the Parramatta Eels. Nowadays, James Hardie Industries is inextricably linked with asbestos. Their building products and their brake linings contained asbestos, and their products led to untold numbers of people ending up with lung disease. So many that the New South Wales government had to establish a new tribunal to deal with them all. In 2001, the company's board were desperately working out how to manage the potential liability from so many plaintiffs. The scheme they came up with was to isolate the two companies most likely to bear liability and then to fund those companies to meet the claims. The funding involved was many millions of dollars. The company was required to release an announcement to the stock exchange prior to making a move so dramatic. The board did so, announcing that there would be sufficient funding to meet all of the expected claims from asbestos victims. This was not true. Shafron was the General Counsel and Company Secretary of James Hardie Industries. He was the key source of advice to the board about the business restructure and the announcement to the stock exchange. When it became clear that the announcement to the stock exchange had not been true, a number of the directors, including Shafron, were charged with civil contraventions of the Corporations Act. For most of the directors, the breach was essentially a lack of diligence, that they had not taken sufficient effort to ensure that the proposed announcement was true. For Shafron, however, the difficulty was somewhat greater. He was the one who should have been bringing the correct information before the board. The first instance judge said, and the High Court agreed, that failing to proffer the correct advice was a failure to discharge his duties to James Hardie with the degree of care and diligence that a reasonable person would exercise if he or she were an officer of a corporation in James Hardie's circumstances, occupied the office of General Counsel and Company Secretary. From this case, we confirm that the precise nature of a director's duties depends at least partly on the nature of their role and the size, nature and complexity of the corporation itself.